Hey YouTube, so I'm going to move ahead with my whole request thing. I got a request to do a down review. I have two of their albums. This is their first one. It's called NOLA. It was released in 1995 on East West Records. The NOLA is actually an abbreviation for where the members are from, New Orleans and Los Angeles. Someone online got it wrong and it said it's for New Orleans, Louisiana, and I was like, that's not what the other website said. The website I read first said this, but anyway. It's a pretty awesome little album. It's a supergroup side project that was written between Pantera albums for Vulgar Display of Power and The Great Southern Trendkill, I guess. And it was called Down just because they made it in their downtime. It's got members of Corrosion of Conformity, Eyehategod, Crowbar, Keenan, and Philip Anselmo are pretty much the guys who tie the whole band together, respectively. And it's a good little piece of sludge metal, stoner metal, with lots of Black Sabbath influence, lots of classic rock like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin thrown in. But it's also got all these kind of cool twists and turns and like cool instrumentals like the one we're listening to now. It's pretty much just about, you know, pot glorification, how great it is to smoke weed, and then how miserable it makes you, and stuff like that. Lots of themes of like self-loathing and just being miserable and angry and stoned all the time. Philip Anselmo's on vocals, and he still does his trademark like Pantera yell on here and stuff, but he actually, sometimes they slow it down and he gets to show this kind of, I don't know, tender side to him. It seems like he's a little more vulnerable at some parts. But in most parts, he's just like a raging, self-depreciating madman, asshole kind of guy. But, what else? But yeah, I don't know. I just bought this, I think, back in 2001. Whenever a young man goes through this angry part of his life, I bought this, and I would listen to it all the time. I remember I was living with this girl. She was living in the basement of this house, and I was listening to this, and she was telling me how awful it is and stuff. She was really into like Slayer and Iron Maiden, and she didn't like this at all, but I really liked it. I could somewhat relate to the angst and stuff like that. It's cool artwork too. The lyrics are really good. It's all about giving into temptation and giving into your addictions and then just being miserable afterwards and stuff like that. Cool little collage there. Really like that collage picture. Mushroom Cloud's actually a mushroom. All kinds of neat pictures there. Some sort of stoned hippie in the weed bush there. Pile of skulls. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. It's probably one of the better projects Philip Anselmo ever sang on, I feel. Well, I'd say this is my favorite album with him on it. If I may be so bold. But yeah, it's a very varied album. I remember listening to it being surprised. I was just expecting some sort of rehash, like look how miserable we can be, how hard we can be, but it's got a whole bunch of twists and turns. It doesn't have any like guitar solo flaunting, and you know, it's not a cockfest at all. It's actually a pretty well thought out, well put together, well written CD. Like all the guitars are good. Like nothing really sucks about it. It's a pretty flawless piece of sludge metal, stoner metal album. I really, really enjoyed it. I was really surprised by it. I still listen to it today, and it still sounds really good. It still holds up well, even after all the metal albums that came out after it. You know, it puts probably 90% of metal bands to shame, I feel. Down's actually really surprisingly good. Basically just because it's a supergroup with all these big-name people in the metal scene, and they make this kind of surprisingly good-sounding, well-thought-out, angst-ridden, mean, catchy, pot-glorifying album, you know? It's got all these strikes against it, and then it actually turns out to be awesome. I read online that it's actually supposed to be Cajun-style metal. I don't know what the hell Cajun-style metal means, but yeah, cool little album, Down. I'd recommend it if you're into like all that Pantera and all that kind of grunge metal shit from the 90s. This is a really, really good album. If you slept on it, you're a fool.